Here's Chris Patrician. He had 100 yards the last game, and here he goes again. And he's going long distance. Patrician's going to the end zone. Touchdown.
Welcome to the 2019 Northern Bowl, as it features the Korah Colts hailing from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, against the Holy Cross Hurricanes from Peterborough. Jack Moore alongside Dave Morrissey with you as we bring you the ninth and final bowl game here from the OFSAA Bowl Championship Series from Ron Joyce Stadium on the campus of McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. And Dave, what's been a great few days of high school football.
Yeah, you know what? It's been really great to be here, see a lot of high-quality football teams play. The last couple of days, we've seen a number of unexpected blowouts, but we're hoping to end with a very exciting game here at the end.
Exciting game for sure as the Korah Colts come in a 6-0 record against Holy Cross, who has an 8-1 record on the season. Their only loss, their only stumble, coming back on October 24th when they lost at Thomas A. Stewart. That was a 9-8 ball game, so a very close one indeed. And then in the CASA Championship, they beat Centennial hailing from Belleville 61-14 to put themselves into their first OFSAA Bowl appearance in school history, and they're looking for their first win. For Korah, they are looking for their second OFSAA title, and their last one came last year in the National Capital Bowl.
Yeah, they beat St. Peter, and the head coach of Korah is Tom Annett. He's a former Laurier player, played for 3 years before his career was cut short by a very unfortunate injury. And Tom's had a lot of success. Before he was at Korah, he was at another school up in the far north. His teams did very well there. I believe he was declared surplus and had to end up at another school. And since he's been at Korah, his level of excellence with the teams that he coached has been continued there. And I'm anxious to see what they're going to present today.
We will have kickoff for you shortly, but public address announcer John Metcalf is getting us set for the national anthem here at Ron Joyce Stadium. We are getting you set for kickoff as the Korah Colts from Sault Ste. Marie take on the Holy Cross Hurricanes in the 2019 Northern Bowl from the OFSAA Bowl Festival here at Ron Joyce Stadium on the campus of McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. Jack Moore, Dave Morrissey. And Dave, yesterday we saw a number of blowout games in all three. The first day we saw three relatively close games, and then the first two football games we saw today were not the closest games either, so why don't you run us through what we've seen so far in the first 8 bowl games?
Well, sure. In the first game, we had Westgate play Joan of Arc, and Westgate's a team from, I believe it was the Thunder Bay region. They were successful winning the first game. Then in the second game, we had Nilsson, easily one of the top 5 teams in the province without a doubt. They had a very strong performance against Assumption. In our third game, we had Holy Cross from Kingston versus Richview, and that was probably the most exciting ending. Richview was leading, and Holy Cross had 2 late touchdowns in the last couple minutes to take that victory. In the second day, we had Chaminade, Metro Catholic champion, play Notre Dame from Welland, and Notre Dame won their conference and had to win some extra games to get to the bowl game, and Chaminade absolutely destroyed them. Then we had certainly the marquee matchup, or one of the two marquee matchups of the festival. St. Thomas More beat Herman 27-0, and they got those 27 points early, and then after that it was just two outstanding defenses. Final day of the game yesterday was St. Marcellinus from Mississauga playing Paul Dwyer from the Lhasa region, and Marcellinus again won handily. I believe it was 48-0. Today we started with Westmount, the Hamilton Public champion, and they dominated Ashbury from the Ottawa region. The next game we had Huron Heights. Some might say they're the best team in Ontario. And they played another extremely good team from Lucas, and the score there was 41-19 in the favor of Huron Heights. And so here we are now coming to our last game. A couple of teams that we're not very familiar with. Holy Cross from the Peterborough area and Korah from Sault Ste. Marie.
And like you said before, Notre Dame having to win an extra few games to get in, and you see that sometimes with teams playing in to get into the OFSAA Bowl game. Of course, Nelson being the GHAC runner-up, also getting a bid in the OFSAA Bowl Festival as well, and Westmount, who won their bowl game at the 10 a.m. start time today. They were the runners-up to Notre Dame, and they ended up winning their bowl game handily over Ashbury from Ottawa. So, you see teams who don't necessarily win their conference to get into the OFSAA Bowl games, but those two teams who were runners-up are now champions at the OFSAA level.
Yeah, and you know what? In my opinion, GHAC is very strong. GHAC has two bids this year because they're the host region, so they get a bid, and the champion gets a region. But I think almost everyone would agree with me when I say GHAC football is extremely strong, and they should probably always get two bids. In this case, SASA got a second bid because the private school league does not send a team. And so SASA just happened to be the one to get a second rep, and I think they were both quite deserving. Again, Notre Dame was, in fact, the champion, and the runner-up Westmount, we saw how dangerous they could be this morning.
You're absolutely right. We just saw Huron Heights, who play in the CISA League because the York region only had one team, and that is Huron Heights, compete this year with a 12-man football team. So that meant that they were automatically into the OFSAA Bowl game. They ran through the CISA division. As we are underway, Korah receives the opening kickoff, and they look to return it all the way back, breaking away from tacklers. And oh my goodness, Michael Nicoletta will go the distance. The opening kickoff of the game, return for a touchdown.
Well, that's the start that you want if you're Korah, and that's definitely the start you don't want if you're Holy Cross. I mean, and Korah is from Sault Ste. Marie, but Jack, they have a number of fans in the stadium here. I mean, there's some dedication to travel that far to see a football game, and they've been rewarded for their long trip with a touchdown on the first play of the game.
What a kick return for a touchdown for Michael Nicoletta. Untouched, back the other way to the end zone, close to about 100 yards for Korah. So the opening play of the ball game results in the Colts taking an early lead as they're on to attempt the extra point. And like you said, this is probably the worst case scenario if you're Holy Cross to start the game as 14 seconds in.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for Holy Cross that they're going to start off like that. We're going to see probably pretty quickly how they respond. You would hope that they can shrug that off. We've seen a number of games, though, in this tournament where teams have gotten up very, very quickly, and the things got out of control quickly, and they didn't respond. I'm just hoping we don't see another one of those here because we'd really like to end on a very, very competitive note.
The first day of bowl games featured three games that were relatively competitive. The Nelson Assumption game ended 35-14. Nelson went up 21-14 in that contest before Assumption scored 14 unanswered points, including a blocked field goal that had a lateral for a touchdown for Kyle Orton. But Holy Cross down 6-0 early in this one as Gabe Lemire will take the kickoff and try and run it back, but nowhere to go as he gets taken down at the 15-yard line. So Korah's special teams getting it done early on. Sorry, that's the 21-yard line. As Korah's special teams returns a kick for a touchdown and then limits the return from Holy Cross.
Yeah, so Holy Cross is coming on offense here. And again, neither one of us has seen this team play. But if we look at their point totals or their scores so far this year, they beat Fenelon Falls 42-0, Adam Scott 13-3, Halliburton Highlands 31-0, St. Peter 35-0, lost a close 9-8 game to Thomas Stewart, then finished with a 28-7 win over Crestwood. They had playoff victories of 42-14, 36-13, and a 61-14 win in a CASA championship. So they can put the ball in the end zone.
Gabe Lemire, who you saw on that kickoff return, also handles the quarterback duties as he hands off on first down, and Korah's defense with a big stop. Jordan Grondin makes the tackle as Nathaniel Glasbergen was on the handoff for Holy Cross. So a loss on the first play from scrimmage for Holy Cross brings up 2nd and 13.
Yeah, you know, it'll be interesting. We haven't seen Holy Cross on defense because Korah returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, but their quarterback is also listed as a defensive end. That is a unique position combination.
Glasbergen gets the handoff and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. So after losing 3 yards on first down, he gets 3 yards on second down, and that will bring up 3rd and 10 for Holy Cross, who will most likely have to punt this ball away.
Yeah, and you noted in the pregame warm-up, too, the quarterback slash defensive end is also the punter. I mean, it's an interesting skill set. It's almost like long snapper, wide receiver, magician.
That is exactly the skill set that Gabe Lemire brings to the table. Holy Cross to punt this ball away from their own 21. An end-over-end punt gets returned, and Ethan Fawcett looking for some space to run with it as he's taken down at the 33-yard line of Holy Cross. So it's a 1st and 10 for Korah in great field positioning.
Yeah, you know what? That was a line drive punt. Didn't have very much hang time. Probably only went about 30 yards, and the punt coverage was actually really slow. Fawcett got about 20 yards. The first 15 yards, there was no one near him. I'm going to call a punt return for a touchdown for that young man before the end of the game because I did not like what I saw from the punt coverage from Holy Cross there.
Jordan Robinson Wright in shotgun, empty set for Korah. As a handoff to Tyler Brecken as he cuts upfield, gets across the 30 and taken down by the pile of the Holy Cross defense led by Brett Bjorgen. And that will be a gain of 5, so 2nd and 5 upcoming.
So Tyler Brecken there, number 2. I remember seeing him play last year, and I've seen his highlight tape too. This kid can do it all. He plays receiver, running back, quarterback, defensive back. I've seen him play linebacker. I've seen him also punt. The kid can do it all.
Hand off to Noah Grassley as he gets chopped down as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Great job stepping up and making the tackle by Gavin Cooper-Bailey. And a minimal gain there, maybe a yard, will bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, there does look like there's some size there on that Holy Cross defensive line, especially to 2 defensive tackles. I think running inside, it'll be interesting to see if Korah can have some success because they're going to have to move some big bodies out of the way to do that. 3rd and 4, they're going for it.
3rd and 4 in the offensive territory for Korah as they hand off and it's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. A great job by the Holy Cross defense getting in and making the stop. Joe DeNoble, the 5'10", 225-pound defensive tackle like you were just talking about, Dave, makes the play. It's short of the line to gain, and Holy Cross takes over on downs.
Yeah, that play had no chance from the get-go. I mean, as soon as the ball, the quarterback was in the shotgun, he got the snap, and there was the quick handoff to the running back. But literally a millisecond after the running back had the ball, the defensive tackle was already smacking him yards behind the line of scrimmage.
So a 1st and 10 for Holy Cross as they look to put some points on the board after that opening kickoff return for a touchdown as a handoff to Bjorgen on first down, gains 2 yards, 2nd and 8 upcoming.
That was a very bizarre initial formation in the backfield. And, there were 5 men in the backfield at the start there. There was a little bit of motion, and they ended up with 4. I haven't seen that before, and it looks like from after we've seen a couple series here that Holy Cross is clearly a running team. And if they are going to be unable to have success with that, it'll be interesting to see if they can even pass the ball at all.
2nd and 8 for Gabe Lemire in this Holy Cross offense. As again, they shift back into that formation, and they hand off. Bjorgen has a hole, and he cuts up field, driving forward across the 40-yard line, gets to the 41, and picks up a first down on a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, you know what? One of the reasons why he got a first down, Jack, is because the last two plays, Korah was playing with 11 men on defense. I'm not exactly sure why. We just saw someone come onto the field. Pretty unfortunate for them, but Holy Cross took advantage of it.
1st and 10 from their own 41 as Holy Cross moves the sticks for the first time this afternoon. Korah returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. We stand at 6-0 Colts. As Lemire keeps it himself and met immediately by the Korah defense. Jacob Jurich making the tackle. A loss of 2 will bring up 2nd and 12.
Now, this is a couple of times we've sort of seen the quarterback try and do a read option, but Gabe Lemire is 6'1", 220. He doesn't appear to have the agility that perhaps like a Chad Owens Jr. did yesterday, or some of the other quarterbacks that we've seen run that type of offense. He looks more like a pure drop-back passer to me, not an option quarterback.
Handoff, Bjorgen taken down by Jurich in the backfield. Another tackle for a loss for Jurich. This time it brings up 3rd and 15 in this Korah defense after giving up the first down to Bjorgen, feeling it on that last sequence.
It's amazing how your defensive performance can immediately improve when you add a 12th player onto the field.
I've never thought about that, Dave.
Well, we just saw it. We just saw it happen live. Here we go.
3rd and 15 from the 36, so Lemire to punt this ball away for Holy Cross. Lemire gets a nice high spiraling punt that bounces down at the 42 and goes out of bounds, so no return available for Ethan Fawcett, and that's where the Korah Colts offense will come back onto the field.
Yeah, so far we haven't seen very much of the Holy Cross offense. It appears to be, based on an inside run game, a power run game, where the quarterback is making some reads. But as I said before, unlike some of the other quarterbacks we saw yesterday, the quarterback for Paul Dwyer, Chad Owens Jr. for St. Marcellinus, if you're going to run that kind of offense, I think you need a speedy quarterback. And, Lemire's a big kid, and I just don't see him offering that. And he is actually over there on defensive end. He is playing both ways.
1st and 10 for Korah as they look to the far side of the field. The catch is made up to the 55-yard line, and that's going to be a first down for Michael Nicoletta. We already saw him make an impact play, returning the opening kick for a touchdown, and a gain of 15 will move the sticks for the Colts.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many yards Nicoletta puts up today. I think, once we get to the 3rd or the 4th quarter, we should start talking about maybe Moore's top 5 players of this tournament.
I like that as Korah sets up 1st and 10 from the Holy Cross 54. A handoff on first down to Zach Zeppa. Goes for 4 yards, 2nd and 6 upcoming.
Yeah, so, I think probably what we're going to see a lot of today, we've only seen him get the ball once, is Tyler Brechen. I think you'll probably see him throw the ball at least once or twice. They'll probably take some deep shots to him too. But so far they've presented some interesting balance on the offensive side of the ball.
Jordan Robinson-Wright lines up in shotgun, 2nd and 6. Korah looking to convert on first down. They take a shot down the field for Brecken, and it falls incomplete. Couldn't catch up to the ball. 2 Holy Cross defenders in the vicinity, and Hayden McEmoyle and Brett Bjorgen. So 3rd and 6 upcoming for the Korah Colts, and it looks like they'll bring on the punting unit.
Yeah, well, just like I was saying a second ago, Brecken's a big time player. They threw the deep pass to him, but that was well defense. There were 2 defenders there. Didn't have much of a chance for success there, but I'm sure they'll come back to it. Well, this is interesting, Jack. As a long snapper, the punter is only about 10 yards behind the center there.
As Brecken, the punter, takes it and rolls, he's going to pick up a first down and maybe more. Brecken cuts upfield, crossing the 20 before being taken down at the 16-yard line.
I think maybe we saw why he wasn't lined up at the traditional 14 or 15 yards. Maybe that might be something to look for later in the game, and if they do actually punt, to see if he changes how far away he lines up, because it looked like maybe he was trying to give himself a 4 or 5 yard head start there.
Tyler Brecken takes the snap, lining back as the punter, and runs it downfield to the 16-yard line A big gain for the Korah Colts, and they have a fresh set of downs. Their offense is back out on the field. Jordan Robinson-Wright in at quarterback, lines up in shotgun. Handoff, and that play goes nowhere for the Korah Colts. Is driven back is the ball carrier Jacob Jurek.
Yeah, you don't often see a guy wearing the number 52 get a chance to touch the ball, but Jacob Jurek was voted the MVP of his league. Plays on both sides of the ball. He's 5'10", 215, plays fullback, plays a little line, plays linebacker. So again, multi-dimensional athlete there.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for the Korah Colts. In the red zone in Holy Cross territory. They have a 6-0 lead. Robinson-Wright looks towards the end zone, and it falls incomplete. Noah Grassley couldn't bring it in, but a flag flies, and it doesn't look like Holy Cross even had a player covering Grassley.
Well, he threw it up there. The receiver was open. The DB had to kind of make up some ground quickly, and in the process, the referee threw the flag, and he's going to call pass interference in the end zone there.
So pass interference in the end zone is likely what will be called.
There's a bit of a discussion.
So we await the call from our referees here today. 6-0 Korah leads with 3 minutes 17 seconds to go in the first quarter. The 2019 Northern Bowl, the final bowl game to be played in the 2019 OFSAA Bowl Festival. Pass interference against Holy Cross is the call. So we'll see where they mark the football, but it should be on the 1-yard line, and that is where they will put it down. So Korah now has 3 attempts from the 1 to punch it in and extend their lead.
Yeah, and I would be quite shocked if they're not successful doing that. Let's see. Looks like we brought in, some bigger players for some sort of power up play here. We got 52 in the backfield again here, where they brought in 99 on the end.
Brecken takes the snap and goes towards the goal line. Touchdown! Tyler Brecken lines up at quarterback and runs it into the end zone for Korah's 2nd touchdown. And with 3:02 left in the first quarter, they're up 12-0 pending the extra point.
Well, it's funny. Just a little while ago, I mentioned Tyler Brecken. I told you he's a multi-dimensional athlete. We saw him at punter take a fake punt and get a very long play, get a first down. We saw him now in at quarterback picking up a touchdown on a short touchdown run. And they also tried to hit him deep on a pass pattern. So he's going to be involved in a lot of plays today.
So the Korah Colts line up for the extra point. It's up and good. So 13-0 the score with 3:02 remaining in the first quarter.
It's looking like to me, Jack, we might have another one-sided affair on our hands here. I really think Holy Cross has to do something significant on this drive, if not necessarily score points, at least pick up 3 or 4 first downs, try and establish some sort of rhythm, some sort of momentum, and get these players, feeling good about themselves. Because at this point, the doubts might be starting to set in. They might start to wondering if they've bitten off more than they can chew.
This is Holy Cross's first appearance in an OFSAA bowl game after beating Centennial in the CASA Championship 61-14. They won the Kawartha Championship over Thomas A. Stewart 36-13. That was after losing to Thomas A. Stewart 9-8 in the regular season. So that ball booted away, and Lemire will return it as Korah heard a whistle, and it was the referee blowing the play in, so none of the players started to run downfield as Lemire takes advantage, takes it up to the 38-yard line, and the 39-yard line, and that's where Holy Cross will start.
Yeah, you know what? Again, Lemire on the kick return there, so we got him playing quarterback, we got him at punter, and we got him at defensive end. I'm just really wondering, especially about that quarterback-defensive end combination. At that, at defensive end, you're taking initiating a lot of contact on every play, and I don't know how he's going to be able to play effectively both sides of the ball with that combination.
Gabe Lemire lines up in shotgun. 1st and 10, drops back to pass, looks to his left, fires downfield down the right seam, and it falls incomplete. A flag flies as Hayden McEmoyle was running against Ethan Fawcett, so we'll a wait and see the call, but this might be defensive pass interference.
I think that's what it's going to be. But you know what? Even though it wasn't complete, I'm impressed by the kid's arm. He threw that ball about 40, 45 yards. So obviously he can sling it if he has to. I think they need to open up the offense a little bit more because those first couple of series, all they were doing was inside run, and Korah was defensing that very well.
So they call offensive pass interference, and the sticks move. It was on the 39-yard line is where the chain originally set. So this penalty goes against Holy Cross. So they're calling pass interference on Hayden McAmoyle and not Ethan Fawcett. So it'll be first down repeated for Holy Cross as the chains will remain at the 39-yard line. So the line to gain will be the 49 for Holy Cross as this ball marches back 10 yards. So the 29 is where Holy Cross will have a 1st and 20.
You know, it kind of looked like incidental contact to me. It looked like their feet just got tangled. So it's really, I don't know. I really don't understand that call.
1st and 20. Lemire drops back to pass. Lemire scrambling away from pressure. He's going to take it himself. He hurdles and gets taken down by Michael Nicoletta. But it looked like Lemire may have gone airborne and stayed on his feet. But a gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 15.
Yeah, you know, again, he's a big kid there. He did show a little bit of speed and a little bit of athleticism there with that hurdle effort. Good tackle, like you said, by Michael Nicoletta. I mean, he's already done a few things today with that long kick return touchdown to start the game.
See players be effective on both sides of the ball for both these squads today. As Lemire lines up in shotgun on 2nd and 15. Handoff and a gain of 4 yards after the run by Glasbergen. So a 3rd and 12 upcoming for Holy Cross, and they'll probably punt this ball away.
Yeah, I think it's far too early to even consider a gamble. It's 3rd and 12. I mean, even if it was 3rd and 5 and 36, it'd be far too early to consider a gamble. It's going to be tough to necessarily tell because, again, the quarterback is the punter. They did make one substitution.
So Lemire rehuddles Holy Cross as they go back to the line, and looks like they will set up in punt formation. 37-yard line is where the ball is spotted. 3rd and 12 for Holy Cross. And there is the fake punt, and Korah snuffs it out right away. Brett Jorgen had nowhere to go with it for Holy Cross. And the Korah special teams unit, their punt safe team, aware of the situation, makes the tackle at the line of scrimmage and picks up a 1st and 10 from the Holy Cross 37-yard line.
And you know what? I think that was a really poor call, and I think they got a little too ambitious and panicked a little too early. It was a snap to the up back, and he was actually looking to pitch it back to the punter, but it was snuffed out early. Again, an unsuccessful gamble and an unwise gamble, in my opinion. As I just said before that, it's still the first quarter. You're only down 13. You can't give the other team great field position.
Robinson Wright fires to the far side for Grassley, but it falls incomplete over his head. 2nd and 10 upcoming for the Korah Colts.
Again, just to go back to what I was saying, it's still the first quarter. You have a 3rd and 12. You are around your own, what were they on there, around their 30 or
37-yard line.
Yeah, and you know what, there's no need to go for it that early. It's not a desperate situation, but now you've put yourself in a desperate situation.
Time winding down here in the first quarter as we're under 30 seconds to play. 13-0, the Korah Colts lead the Holy Cross Hurricanes. Handoff and tackle in the backfield by Lemire after Zach Zeppa couldn't find any room to run with it for the Colts. Strung out, a loss of 2 yards will bring up 3rd and 12 for Korah. So bringing on the punting unit is head coach Tom Annett.
Yeah, and you know what? Now this is an area where you might want to run a fake punt, right? You're on the other team's 39-yard line, but we can see the punter's lined up. He is lined up this time 13 yards deep.
We did see a fake punt from Korah in the similar spot earlier in this quarter.
And notice he has 3 upbacks to the right. If he does roll right again, he's got a whole platoon there to help him go forward.
And Brecken will kick it as it spins sideways and bounces down at the 28 before bouncing out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So that's where Holy Cross will take over At the end of the first quarter, the Korah Colts lead the Holy Cross Hurricanes 13-0 in the 2019 Northern Bowl.
I bet they're wishing they did try a fake punt there, Jack, because the punt kind of went off the side of his foot. I think it only traveled about 9 yards. One of the jokes we sometimes make in coaching is, if your punter's really bad, you got to at least kick the sticks. In other words, you have to kick the ball past the first down marker in order for it not to be considered an absolute awful kick. I mean, Brecken's a good player. He's a good punter. That was just a miss. I know with my golf game, I've hit a few shots that looked like that punt.
More than a few, I'd imagine.
Well, you know what they say. You drive for show and you putt for dough or something like that. I can. My drives are good. I can't chip to save my life. First 300 yards in one shot, the next 30 yards in 5 or 6.
Yeah, I can't even do that. Like, none of my golf game looks good as Holy Cross takes over on downs from their own 30-yard line. Lemire lines up in shotgun, handoff to Bjorgen, who drives forward up to the 35-yard line. So a 2nd and 5 coming up for Holy Cross.
Somewhere I hear Mark Surya saying there's no way you can drive the ball 300 yards, but I can every now and then, just like I can kick a 40-yard field goal.
Yeah, I believe the 300-yard drive as much as I believe the 40-yard field goal.
A wind-aided, roll-aided drive could travel 300 yards in the right conditions.
All right. I think anybody could get that done as Lemire lines up in shotgun, 2nd and 5. Handoff to Bjorgen, breaks a tackle, cuts upfield up to the 40, taken down at the 43, and a first down for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, that was a good run by Bjorgen there. He's shown some ability there, and Bjorgen is they're going to have to get a lot out of him today to have a positive result. We've only seen a couple of pass attempts, and obviously it looks like this is a team that really wants to commit to the run, and they're not going to give up on it just after one quarter of lack of success.
Holy Cross looking to go on a drive as they face a 13-point deficit in the early goings of the 2019 Northern Bowl. Lemire drops back to pass, fires it, and that falls incomplete. Intended for Hayden McEmoyle, goes over his head, and Ethan Fawcett couldn't step up to make the interception. So 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Yeah, we are going to have a situation here where this is the time for the offense to start getting in gear. They're going to hopefully get some yards here and put a drive together.
And they're going to need a drive at some point here as Lemire drops back. 2nd and 10 looking for the screen pass. Korah's defense was right there, so making the tackle immediately was Zach Zeppa.
Yeah, that was usually a designed screen, but the quarterback dropped back about 15 yards before he let the ball go. And it had too much arc on it by the time it got to the intended receiver. The defense was all over that. So it was a designed screen, but it just didn't look very good right from the get-go.
Glasbergen made the catch on the screen, but like we said, it was snuffed out immediately by the Korah Colts defense. So 3rd and 5, Holy Cross brings on their punting unit. Lemire boots this one away. A high kick goes down to the 27-yard line. It looked like Fawcett was down on the ground, but he spins around and reverses field as he heads up, crossing the 40. Tried to break a tackle as he crosses the 45-yard line, so Korah getting decent field positioning.
Yeah, it looked like the punt returner did take a knee as he fielded the punt. They didn't rule him down, got to the 45-yard line. And I think what I'm going to start going through here in a minute, Jack, is my top 10 of the tournament. And we'll do that after the first play. Not including Korah or their opponent, Holy Cross, yet, but based on what we've seen so far.
So Korah lines up 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Midfield, the line to gain. They'll need the 54.5, actually, is there's a pass wide open as the receiver, Colton Smithers, down the field trying to break a tackle, gets to the 24-yard line, and a first down for Korah. A big play for the Colts as it's 36 yards.
Yeah, you know what? That was a well-designed play. They faked the jet sweep to Tyler Brecken. And Smithers, it's really hard for me not to do the Mr. Burns voice when I say that name Smithers, but Smithers went down the seam. He hit him in full stride, and we're deep in Holy Cross territory.
Colton Smithers on the big 36-yard gain for the Korah Colts as there's a handoff. That ball comes loose, and Holy Cross comes up with it.
Well, misdirection play. The ball went to, was that number 3? I believe it was Noah Graisley on the number 2. Tyler Brecken on the handoff. And, yeah, it was ripped out by a Holy Cross defender. Huge play by the Holy Cross defense. Looked like Korah was on their way to another touchdown, and Holy Cross got exactly what they needed, a big play.
Emmett Shannon coming up with the fumble recovery for the Hurricanes. So deep in their own end after that big play from the Colts offense, Holy Cross benefits from a fumble recovery from Emmett Shannon, and Lemire's back at quarterback. Fakes the handoff and runs it himself, and Korah's defense swarming to the football. Jacob Jurek making the tackle and finishing off Lemire on that first down run.
Yeah, again, that was a quarterback read option. He decided to keep the ball himself, went around the end, and Tyler Brecken was there, and then Jerkin came in and finished him off.
2nd and 10 upcoming for Holy Cross after no gain on the play. They'll line up from their own 22-yard line as Lemire sets up in shotgun. Glasbergen, ball on the turf, and Korah gets it right back. Yeah. Aaron Karanen comes up with the fumble recovery, and Karanen gets Korah the football at the 20-yard line of the Holy Cross Hurricanes.
Yeah, the quarterback was in shotgun, but he had a running back behind him. Sometimes that's called the pistol formation, and there was a fake jet sweep across, and then it was the give to the running back, but the connection, the handoff was never clean, and the ball was put on the ground, and Korah alertly fell on it.
So after Korah put the ball on the turf moments ago and Emmett Shannon came up with the fumble recovery, Aaron Karanen comes up with the fumble recovery for the Korah Colts as Robinson Wright lines up under center. Handoff to Grassley. Gets to the 16-yard line before being taken down, a gain of 4 yards. Brings up 2nd and 6 for the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts had double tight end formation, both tight ends on the right side of the line scrimmage. Tried to win the numbers game there, and the handoff went behind them. We got about 4 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 6.
Jordan Robinson Wright, the 6'1", 185-pound, 12-plus senior for the Korah Colts, getting the call from the sideline as the Colts are looking to find the end zone again with less than 6.5 to play in the first half. Robinson Wright drops back to pass, screen out to Zeppa. Zeppa across the 10-yard line picks up the first down and forced out of bounds at the 7. So a first down upcoming for the Korah Colts, and they'll have a 1st and goal.
Yeah, you know what? That was a much better designed screenplay than we saw Holy Cross run there. There was a good fake to the right. Quarterback rolled out a little bit, and then he turned and stopped, pivoted, and we threw a quick screen to the left. He had a couple of blockers out there helping him out get there, and the misdirection worked. We got a first down inside the 10.
1st and goal from the 7-yard line for the Korah Colts. They're looking to convert once again. Robinson Wright under center. Handoff to Zeppa. Cuts across the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown! Zach Zeppa finds the end zone, and the Korah Colts extend their lead.
Yeah, that was the exact same play they ran about 2 or 3 plays ago, except this time they had 2 tight ends on the left side of the scrimmage. Good for Zeppa there. He got picked up the first down on the screen pass, and they decided to reward him with the touchdown by giving him the carry inside the 5.
19-0. Korah leads the Holy Cross Hurricanes as the point after unit comes onto the field. Gaston Matilla on for the extra point. Up and good. 20-0. Korah leads Holy Cross with 5:30 to go in the first half.
Well, it looks like what we were fearing might be happening right in front of our eyes here, Jack. It's 20-0. There's 5.5 minutes left in the first half. Holy Cross has not crossed midfield. The offense, we did see the one deep throw. I do believe he can make some of those deep connections, and they're going to have to start trying that. Obviously, they're a run-heavy offense. We've seen that. But once you start to fall behind by 20 or more points, you're going to have to start moving away from maybe what you're more comfortable with to moving towards something else, and that's going to involve putting the ball in the air a lot more.
So a 20-0 lead for the Korah Colts as they line up to kick this one away from their own 45-yard line. And like you were saying, Dave, what we feared is another blowout in one of these OFSAA Bowl games.
I remember Korah being a team, too, that was very inventive. I wouldn't be surprised by a short kick.
They're going to boot this one deep. Jorgen crosses the 40, has room to run with it, crosses midfield, gets to the 45, still on his feet. Jorgen towards the end zone, won't be caught. Touchdown, Holy Cross. When they needed it the most, Brett Jorgen finds the end zone, and the Hurricanes ain't done yet.
Yeah, that was a huge play. It was exactly what they needed, and it looked like he was actually going to get tackled on the Korah 40. He stumbled for about 10 yards, regained his stride. There were a couple other Korah defenders there that I thought were going to make the tackle, but Bjorgen found a second gear and brought it in the end zone. Pretty rare that you have two kickoff return touchdowns in the same game.
I'm pretty sure if that happens in the CFL, someone wins $1 million.
Yeah, which coincidentally, 14 long snappers in the NFL are currently earning.
Good to know.
Yes.
Holy Cross on to attempt the extra point. Up and good from Hayden McAmoyle. 20-7, Korah leads after that big kick return touchdown from Brett Bjorgen.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed there. Offense hasn't been moving the ball, and there's different ways to score, and special teams is one of those ways, and a kickoff return. I mean, the kid really showed a lot of ability there. I thought initially when he hit the hole, got the return, it showed some certainly some good speed, and the way he was able to keep his feet after he was hit and then find that second gear to outrun a couple of defenders who were in hot pursuit. Very impressive.
Last time the Korah Colts kickoff return unit was on the field, they returned one for a touchdown. That was the opening kickoff of this contest, and that came by way of number 18, Michael Nicoletta, who lines up deep once again, as well as Ethan Fawcett.
You might be thinking, let's kick the ball definitely away from Nicoletta and let's kick it to Fawcett, but I've seen Fawcett play, and Fawcett can easily take it to the house as well.
So a dilemma for a coaching staff is Hayden McAmoyle sets up to boot this one away from the 45-yard line. McAmoyle kicks it short, ball loose, and it looks like Holy Cross has it. Holy Cross recovers the onside kick that went 12 yards, and the Hurricanes have the ball for the first time over midfield.
As a high school coach, that is my favorite onside kick. I like to have a kicker just kick it straight ahead. That was perfectly executed. Kicked it straight ahead. He got on the ball right at exactly 11 yards, the ball, and ended up falling on it about the 12 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage. Perfectly executed. Full marks to the coaching staff for going with that. They had some momentum. They said, let's keep it. Let's try and get the ball again and score.
So Holy Cross lines up on offense once again. As this time it's Bjorgen at quarterback, hands off to Lemire, who tries to drive forward, but he's met immediately by Jordan Grondin, the defensive end for the Korah Colts. So a gain of 1 yard on the play for the typical quarterback for the Holy Cross Hurricanes, and it brings up 2nd and 9.
We're going to have to keep track of how many positions that kid's going to play today. I believe, didn't Will Farrell about a year ago play every single baseball position for a minor league team, I think, in one day?
I think so. As once again, Bjorgen goes into quarterback, swing pass to Lemire, who catches the ball with speed, cuts to the sideline. He's got room. Lemire down the sideline. Lemire to the end zone, touchdown.
Wow. So you change your quarterback and your running back up. You have your running back and quarterback. He throws a little pass out in the flat to Lemire, and he actually got the corner and showed more speed than we thought he had, took it to the house. And this game that looked like it was going to be a rout is now a really good matchup.
Brett Bjorgen lines up at quarterback, the swing pass to Gabe Lemire, finds the sideline, and finds the end zone for another Holy Cross touchdown. And just a minute, 14 seconds ago, Dave, we were talking about this one might being blown wide open by Korah as the flag flies on the extra point. Good from Hayden McAmoyle. This might be offside against Korah, so it should mean nothing, but Holy Cross with consecutive touchdowns to get some momentum back.
Yeah, that was extremely unexpected. Full marks to them for having the guts to go for that onside kick, and they went for the throat right after that, and they've been rewarded for their willingness to take a risk.
So once again, Holy Cross to kick off. The last time they were to kick off, it was a squib kick that went 12 yards, and it was recovered by the Hurricanes that led to a touchdown for Holy Cross. So they'll line up to kick this one on the 50-yard line because Korah was offside on the point after attempt. So that's where Hayden McAmoyle will set this ball up.
One of the things that made that recovery even better, too, was Korah's got a six-man front. I know at the high school level, I'm authorizing that squib kick only if I see 5 men up there. So they tried it anyway, and he got on it, and it was only because it was perfectly executed. It would be interesting to see if they would have the guts to call that again, or maybe they got another short kick in their tricks, their bag of tricks, or if they're going to say, you know what, both those returners are about on the 20-yard line. We're going to go over their heads.
And booting it deep, so Fawcett is going to leave it for Nicoletta, who's going to return. Nicoletta gets dropped at the 33-yard line as the oncoming kickoff cover unit, Gavin Cooper-Bailey, was coming down, and Nicoletta went right to the turf.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't think the tackler actually touched him. It looked like Nicoletta kind of went down anticipating the hit more than anything else.
So 1st and 10 for Korah, who the last time their offense left the field, they had a 20-0 lead. Now only has a 6-point advantage after a kickoff return touchdown for Holy Cross and then an onside kick recovery by the Hurricanes that led to the Gabe Lemire touchdown. So Jordan Robinson-Wright back in at quarterback as Korah looking to extend that lead once again. He rolls to his right. Robinson-Wright fires downfield. Picked off! Holy Cross with the interception. Liam McGee as the flag is down at the 36.
Yeah, that flag came in really late. Again, we had the quarterback rolling to the wide side of the field. He had 2 receivers over there. Quarterback threw a deep out, and it was read very well by Liam McGee. Good interception.
It's offside against Korah. The penalties decline, so it's Holy Cross football from the Korah 40-yard line. And buckle up as the Holy Cross Hurricanes have the ball inside Korah's 45-yard line.
Yeah, this is shocking. And you know what? If I'm Holy Cross, I'm going deep right here, too. I mean, they basically have all the momentum now. I would try another deep shot, try and take advantage of the fact that they have Korah back on their heels. Korah's reeling right now. They, take advantage of the momentum while you have it.
1st and 10 from the 40-yard line for Gabe Lemire, Brett Bjorgen, and this Holy Cross offense. Bjorgen lines up at quarterback. Handoff to Lemire, who drives forward, breaks a tackle, breaks another as he continues to fight for yardage. Gets up to the 29-yard line, a gain of 11 as a flag flew late from the umpire, and it's going to be holding against Holy Cross, so this play is coming back.
Yeah, especially the referee that threw it. You could tell that was going to be a holding call. It was right in the middle of the field, and it actually it's too bad. It was good run by Bjorgen, but they're going to have to deal with a 1st and 20 now. It's interesting again. Sorry, that was Lemire. Yeah, it's interesting that they've continued with the switch. The running back is now the quarterback is now the running back. And the quarterback has played 5. Well, okay, we got quarterback, running back, defensive end, punt returner.
Punter.
Kick
returner.
Okay, so I guess we're going to call that 6 positions so far.
Bjorgen lines up under center, or behind center again, 5 yards deep in shotgun. 1st and 20 from the 50. Option, Bjorgen keeps it himself, and he's taken down. Great tackle by the Korah linebacker to make the play. And that was Aaron Karanen.
It's interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen a team do this before with the running back and the quarterback alternating positions. Bjorgen seems to be a little quicker, but again, Lemire showed some good speed when he caught that touchdown pass recently. So they're both certainly talented athletes. Before the game, I asked the coach to highlight who he thought were going to make plays for him today, and those were the two guys, number 9 and 10.
Well, and Lemire gets the play call from the sideline as Bjorgen lines up in the slot. One of the 4 receivers to the bottom of your screen as Lemire drops back to pass. Lemire steps up, fires that pass complete across the 40, a gain of 11 yards, as making the catch was Ethan Phillips. So it'll be 3rd and 9 from the 39-yard line for the Holy Cross Hurricanes.
Yeah, and you know what? It's now's a situation where, it's an interesting decision. They have the momentum, but they're still trailing by 6 points, and you have a 3rd and 9. So do you go with the momentum that you've accumulated, or do you say, you know what, let's punt the ball, let's get some field position, let's pin Korah deep?
It looks like they're going to punt the football as Ethan Phillips, who just caught in that pass, goes off to the sideline. Lemire takes the snap off the ground, gets away a high end-over-end punt, and Brecken couldn't find it. Loose ball on the turf. Who has it? And they will mark it down as Korah ball as Brecken picks it up. So they'll start from their own 11-yard line, call it the 12, and it's first down Korah after what could have been a disastrous turnover there, Dave.
Yeah, that was an ugly play, actually, from the start. The snap bounced into the punter's hand. He kind of took his time getting it downfield, but it was a very high end-over-end punt. And the punt returner just totally misjudged that, and the ball was lying on the ground, and they were lucky to recover it.
So the Korah Colts back out onto the field with 2:12 left in the first half. Last time they were out there, Jordan Robinson-Wright threw an interception. Robinson-Wright lines up under center, handoff up the middle to the fullback, and driving forward is Zach Zeppa. A gain of 12. Call it a first down for the Korah Colts.
Yep, so again, Korah's going with the no-huddle offense here. They're all wearing wristbands. The coach is signaling into play, and they're just quickly looking down at what he's called, and we're back under center very quickly.
Less than 2 minutes to play in the first half. Robinson-Wright, handoff to Grassley, gets across the 30 up to the 35. It's a gain of 11 and a first down Colts.
Yep, the running game's working really well here now, and I'm just trying to get a hold of how many guys on Holy Cross are playing both ways. So far, I believe it's about 5. We see the quarterback we've already mentioned he's playing defensive end. The running back, Bjorgen, is playing free safety. A couple of the receivers are out there playing DB, and I haven't double-checked, but probably some of the linemen are going both ways too.
Handoff up the middle to Zeppa, breaks away from the pile, cuts across the 45 to the 47-yard line, and once again a gain of 12 from Zach Zeppa gives Korah a first down.
There's a minute 34 left, and again, we already talked about during the other game the other day when the clock stops and how often it stops. But because they're running the no-huddle offense, they can be ready right away when the referee blows that ball back in.
Jacob Jurek slow to get up off the turf, but he's going to walk over to the sideline. Ryan Barnes comes in for him at left guard, so Korah will line up once again on offense with a 1st and 10 and a minute 30 to go in this first half, up by 6. Scored 20 unanswered points to begin the game, but 14 unanswered points by Holy Cross puts us at 20-14. As that handoff to Grassley, he gets taken down immediately by Burke Bain-Livick, and no gain on the play, 2nd and 10 for the Colts.
Well, we see the quarterback kind of walking over the sideline, looking for some instructions from his head coach, Tom Annett. Again, going with the no-huddle, it's easy to get the plays in when they're all wearing wristbands, but they don't really seem to be under any sense of urgency, even though they are still about 65 yards away from the end zone.
2nd and 10 for Korah. Handoff to Zeppa, finds a hole, cuts upfield, cuts to the sideline where he has room to run, and gets up to the 47-yard line. A big gain of 15 yards there. Call it 16 and a first down for the Korah Colts.
Yeah, and a name I want to call out we haven't mentioned yet there is Jack Nacaretto. He's a 5'9", 190-pound lineman. Now, that's not the size that's going to get him a CIS scholarship, but he was doing an excellent job downfield, pulling to the left, blocking the defender about 15, 20 yards downfield. Excellent job.
First and 10. Handoff to Brecken, cuts it upfield at the 45 before being taken down at the 44. Gain of 4 yards on the play brings up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, we're down to 34 seconds here. I believe the coach has called timeout. Yeah, he's coming out on the field. They've been running the ball. They've not had any sense of urgency to try and pass the ball to score before the end of the half, but they are now starting to run out of time. There's 34 seconds left. They are still about 44 yards away. If you're going to be committed to running the ball, you're only going to have about 3 more chances with that much time left on the clock. So I think we're going to have to see them put the ball up in the air if they want to get a touchdown.
Ethan Phillips down on the turf at the Holy Cross 39-yard line.
Well, I'm really glad. I think, we're all glad to be seeing Holy Cross respond the way they did. The last thing we'd want to do is end this these 3 days with a game that isn't competitive. So let's just hope that continues. I mean, we don't really have a horse in this race. We're not really rooting for one team or the other, but I think we all just want a good competitive game.
You're absolutely right. It's been a great few days of high school football as Ethan Phillips gets up to his feet and cheered off the field by the crowd here at the grandstand at Ron Joyce Stadium.
And it's really impressive to get to see the people that are here today coming all the way. Even Peterborough isn't a short drive, and especially the parents from Sault Ste. Marie. Now that's commitment. That's a 2-day trip to come down and see your son play football. And for many of these guys, it's going to be the last time they ever put on the pads. So, you could understand why some of the parents would make that trip.
So, Korah, 2nd and 6, 34.2 seconds to go in the first half as Robinson Wright lines up under center. Handoff to Grassley. He has room to run with it with a blocker in front of him and gets chopped down. Great tackle by Liam McGee at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, we've seen McGee make 2 excellent plays. Liam's a 5'9", 145-pound defensive back, and we've seen him make an excellent interception, and that was actually a touchdown-saving tackle. The running back got wide there, and if McGee doesn't make that tackle, we got another touchdown for Korah.
3rd and 1 for Korah. Holy Cross needs a stop, but Zeppa picks up a first down and drives forward across the 30-yard line to the 29, a gain of 10, moves the sticks with 17.9 seconds to go.
Again, this has been an excellent drive by Korah, totally committed to the run. They've had no sense of urgency. It's almost like they figured, you know what, we can run the ball 8 or 10 times and we will score. Looks like they've called timeout again. 30 yards away, 18 seconds. If they run the ball, they will only get 2 more plays maximum.
So the Korah Colts call timeout with a 1st and 10 from the Holy Cross 30-yard line. The game started with a Korah kick return touchdown, and then 2 more touchdowns by the Colts put them up 20-0 after they weren't able to convert on that first point after attempt. But Holy Cross with a kick return touchdown of their own and then an onside kick recovery before the swing pass to Gabe Lemire put us at 20-14, and that's where we stand late in this second quarter.
I think if you're Korah, I think what you might see here is, a play-action pass, something that looks like a run, which, some sort of play that they've shown multiple times, and then try and hit someone on a deep pass. I'm going to predict they look for Brecken deep, down the middle.
So Korah lines up. This will be the first time they'll line up in shotgun, as you said, Dave. Have to go through the air as time not on their side here to end this first half. Robinson Wright gets it away. It's complete to Grassley. Cuts across the 20-yard line. Chopped down at the 16 with 11.3 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, good pass, picked up about, half the distance they needed to the goal line. There's a remarkable sense of patience here and lack of panic on this drive. It's a really impressive job of coaching and play calling, in my opinion.
They get right to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball out from Robinson right. Caught by Grassley, spins off a tackle. He goes to the end zone. Touchdown! With 1.7 seconds to go in the first half, Korah finds the end zone again. And what a drive from this Korah offense.
Yeah, on that play, with 11 seconds left on the 18-yard line, it looks like they were just looking for about a 9 or a 10-yard hook, get them a little bit closer. It looks like they would have been totally satisfied with that. The ball was low. It was an incredible catch, and he broke a couple of tackles and got in the end zone. Again, I really don't think they were necessarily looking for the touchdown on that play. They knew they had time for 2 plays, but they got it on the first one.
Matilla on to attempt the extra point. Up and good. 13-point advantage for Korah as they lead 27-14, but a flag flies late from one of our back officials as we await the call from the referees. It looks like this might go against Korah, and it probably will as we await the call. So that point after attempt might not count from the Colts. It's a face mask penalty.
Don't usually see that sort of call on an extra point.
So that pushes Korah back 15 yards. So this point after attempt from the 20-yard line. So interesting to see if they'll go for the single again or if they put the offense back out.
I still think your kicker's got to be able to make a 27-yard extra point. And you're going to give it a shot.
Scoreboard changed the score to 25 for Korah, but they hadn't updated. It's 26-14 for the Colts.
Yes, sir, it is. 26-14.
Matilla, 27-yard extra point is no good, short of the uprights.
Well, I was wrong. I said your kicker should be able to make a 27-yard extra point. He could have made a 25-yard extra point, but that would look like a couple yards too short.
So with 1.7 seconds left to go in the first half.
Some fans in the stands, Jack, that feel like we are responsible for the scoreboard.
We are not.
We are not. We are responsible for a lot of things, not the scoreboard. And
yeah, I don't know how many people are putting us in charge of anything.
Yes, that's true. And they do have it now correct up there. It's 26-14.
So a great decision made by the Holy Cross head coach, Bon Bjorgen, to push Korah back to the 20-yard line and make them attempt that 27-yard extra point.
Yeah, that could come in handy. I mean, he could have actually declined it and said, you know what, we're going to take the 15 yards on the kickoff, but why take the 15 yards on a kickoff when you only have 1.7 seconds left, right? So it seemed like that was a logical choice, see if the guy can make it, and he couldn't. And at one point could be very significant later on.
And we've already seen Holy Cross return a kick for a touchdown as this squib kick goes back to the 40-yard line, and that's where Holy Cross will return it. Burke being Livick on the return as clock hits 0 on this first half. 26-14 for Korah, and we saw a lot of fight from Holy Cross in that second quarter, Dave.
Yeah, I think we were in agreement that they probably didn't have it in them. And they quickly turned it on and showed us what they were capable of. So we're looking forward to an exciting second half.
It should be a good one. 26-14. Korah Colts lead the Holy Cross Hurricanes in the 2019 Northern Bowl. Stay with us. We'll be back with the second half in about 15 minutes' time. Welcome back to the second half of the 2019 Northern Bowl as the kickoff is underway, and it's going to be an illegal onside kick from Korah to start us out as that ball went 6 yards downfield before rolling back to the 46-yard line. So that is where Holy Cross will take possession and start out in this second half. The referees actually started the half before the halftime clock hit 0, but because no players touched the ball, there'll still be 12 minutes on the clock to begin the second half.
Yeah, it was an interesting fake kickoff. The one kicker came up, ran up, just ran right by it, and then another guy came from another direction, kicked it the other way. Ball only rolled about 7 yards back to about 6. Another Korah player alertly just touched it to down it. Otherwise, someone from Holy Cross could have picked it up and just gone the other way.
Lemire back at quarterback for Holy Cross. Is that pass complete? And Brett Bjorgen makes the catch, gain of 8 yards, brings up 2nd and 2. So Holy Cross gets a nice gain on their first play of the second half, down by 12.
Well, it's the Lemire-Bjorgen connection. I mean, they are responsible, I think, for every single yard this team has gained so far, either running the ball or passing the ball or receiving the ball. I think one other player caught one pass. But other than that, it's just those two guys accounting for almost the entire offense.
Lemire, Bjorgen takes the handoff, and he's chopped down just past the line of scrimmage. Ball comes loose. Korah says they have it. We'll see what the call on the field is. But this could be a big momentum swing to start the second half. And it is Korah football.
Yeah, it was a handoff to Bjorgen. A tackler came in really low, brought him down very quickly, and the ball came out, and it was tough to tell who recovered the ball at first, but they're giving it to Korah. That's a big break for Korah. They took a gamble at the start of the half there with that onside kick. It really didn't cost them anything, considering they're starting with the ball now on their 39-yard line, and they've only taken about 55 seconds off the clock.
So the Korah Colts back on the field with a 12-point advantage. Handoff to Grassley on first down as he drives forward to the 45-yard line. So a gain of 6 will bring up 2nd and 4. And for the Korah Colts, they're looking for just their second OFSAA Bowl victory in program history. Their first one came in their first appearance, and it was last year in the National Capital Bowl. For Holy Cross, they're playing in their first OFSAA Bowl game in program history, and they're looking for a win, but they have a hill to climb here, down by 12. And Korah with the football, looking to drive down the field. Grassley hands it off to Brecken, who cuts to the other side of the field, gets up to midfield, and picks up a first down on the gain of 10. A lot of moving parts on that offensive play, Dave.
Yeah, that was a handoff to number 3, went across the formation, Grassley, and he ditched it off. It was a handoff to Brecken coming the other way. I wouldn't even really, a traditional reverse usually takes place further back in the backfield, but that was very close to the line of scrimmage. I don't even know if most of the defense could see that second exchange.
Handoff to Zeppa, and Zeppa drives forward up to the 49-yard line, call it the 50-yard line of the Holy Cross Hurricanes. So a gain of 5 on first down brings up 2nd and 5.
One of the things that we could see the Korah skilled players doing really well is committing to and executing the fakes. A lot of times, especially at the high school level, the players that aren't getting the ball sometimes do not give a full effort in delivering a good fake. And coaches, we try and tell them that the misdirection is what's going to sell the play. You have to sell that you have the ball, even if you don't.
Play action here as Robinson Wright fires it downfield, and that pass intended for Austin Norrie falls incomplete, but a flag flies late at the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you know what? He was rolling left there. He was looking for the receiver. It was slightly overthrown, but that would have been almost an impossible catch down near the sideline. There was excellent coverage by the defensive back, Ethan Phillips, who, again, also plays wide receiver.
So we will await the call from the officials. There's 9:10 left to go in the third quarter. 26-14, Korah leads Holy Cross. And it looks like it's going to go against Korah, and they're going to decline the penalty, so it'll be third down. We still haven't got the call what the penalty is, but it doesn't look like we're going to get it.
Later in the fourth quarter, both Jack Moore and I we're gonna present our combined top 10 list for the teams here at the OFSAA Bowl Fest. We compiled our top 10 lists independently, and we just recently compared them, and we had the top 5 picks exactly the same, in the same order. And from 6 to 10, we picked slight disagreement about the order, but again, 4 of those 5 teams were exactly the same. So I know all of you at home will be waiting anxiously for those results.
Because our opinions matter the most, Dave.
In terms of this booth, without a doubt, our opinions
For the people that are sitting in the booth with us,
our opinions matter more.
And that's because nobody else is in this booth. As a fake punt by Korah, a broken tackle, and Grassley's down the sideline, crossing the 30, gets up to the 26. So a gain of 24 yards on that fake punt puts Korah 1st and 10 in offensive territory.
Yeah, you know what? When they're running their punt formation, they have at least 3 upbacks to the one side, and it really puts them in good shape if they are going to run a fake. They have a lot of extra blockers on that side of the field, and this is an imaginative team. They're creative. I remember them from last year. I've seen some of the coaches on this staff coach the Sault Ste. Marie SaberCats summer team too. So a lot of these players have a lot of experience playing with each other year round.
So the Korah Colts, a 1st and 10 from the Holy Cross 26 after converting on that fake punt. Robinson Wright drops back to pass, fires down the seam, and it falls incomplete. He had Tyler Brecken wide open, decided to attempt to throw to his other receiver, and it falls incomplete. I believe that's Colton Smithers, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he had a receiver going down each seam. One was covered and one wasn't, and he was fixated on the one right from the start. Brecken was even trying to get his attention downfield. They're like, I'm wide open. Throw it to me. Throw it to me.
Brecken was standing in between the goal line and the uprights with no Holy Cross defenders in the vicinity. 2nd and 10. Robinson Wright fires down the seam again, and it's picked off. Hayden McEmoyle, the interception in the end zone. So Korah can't convert after getting that fake punt 1st down, and an interception in the end zone gives Holy Cross back the ball.
Yeah, you know what? I think that was the same play. I'm pretty sure Brecken might have gone back to the huddle, said, call it again. And they ran those 2 seams, except this time the receivers were closer together than they were the last time, and there were actually 3 defensive backs in the area. It was actually quite an easy interception for the free safety.
So 1st and 10 from their own 20 for Holy Cross as they head back out onto the field on offense in this second half. And the Hurricanes looking to mount a comeback here for their first OFSAA Bowl victory in program history. Lemire drops back to pass. He fires downfield. Receiver can't make the catch as it was knocked down by the defender. Great job by Gaston Matilla.
Yeah, you know what? That was a great defensive play there. The throw deep pass down the middle. Matilla, again, good combination. We've seen some interesting position combinations today. He's a defensive back kicker.
Gaston Matilla, the big knockdown on 1st and 10 as Gabe Lemire was looking downfield. Second and 10, Lemire getting pressure, scrambles away, and he rolls to his right. Lemire trying to beat another defender, and he's going to be taken down for the sack. A loss of 4 yards will bring up 3rd and 14, and Korah's defense swarming the Holy Cross quarterback.
Yeah, you know what? What happened on that play, saw happen a couple of times yesterday. The quarterback's scrambling, is rolling to his right, clearly looking for some help, and I saw at least 3 receivers standing downfield, almost like deer in headlights, just staring at him when they should be bringing their routes to the sideline, coming back to the quarterback a little bit, trying to help him out. In that case, they left Lemire all alone out on a ledge.
So Lemire in this Holy Cross punting unit will look to get a solid boot to this one. They're not lining up in punt unit right away.
Well, this would be a terrible gamble. 3rd and 12 from your own.
Oh, they're just going to go shotgun and then run it into the end zone instead of risking the long snap rolling and there being a touchdown for Korah. So the 2 extra points that the Colts have missed, they get back with that safety conceded by Brett Bjorgen. So it's 28-14 now for the Korah Colts with 6:07 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, you know what? In retrospect, that was a smart thing to do. Sometimes I wonder why try the 15-yard snap when you're just going to give up 2. They had their running back about 5 yards behind the center. Now, even the snap there, it did bounce, it did hit the ground, but it was a fortuitous bounce, and he just picked it up, jogged back about 4 or 5 steps, and then he was in the end zone. Trying to giving up the safety a little safer, a little easier there.
So Holy Cross will have to kick this one away from their own 35. And, you've heard that argument a few times before. Why would you risk that 15-yard snap? And especially at a level where you might not have a long snapper where you feel confident enough to get that ball back. So Holy Cross doing the smart thing there, going into shotgun. Like you said, the snap was low. But Bjorgen able to corral it and then take a knee in the end zone, as Hayden McAmoyle will set it up on the tee to fire this one away. And he kicks it deep, and it's going to be Michael Nicoletta to return. Nicoletta finds a crease as he gets up near midfield. They'll mark him down at the Korah 54-yard line. So favorable field positioning for the Colts as their offense comes back on after that Jordan Robinson right interception. So the Colts offense comes onto the field 56 yards away from the goal line. And the Holy Cross defense needs another big stop. And you're almost at the point in this ball game where Holy Cross's defense might say, we need to score if we want to put more points on the board. Only one offensive touchdown for Holy Cross in this contest. It was Gabe Lemire catching a swing pass from Brett Bjorgen. So the Hurricanes looking for a big play here and a big defensive stand on this drive from the Korah Colts. Handoff. Brecken goes around and drives himself forward to the 51-yard line of the Holy Cross Hurricanes. A gain of 5 will bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, there's Brecken again. I called his name out at the start of the game as someone to certainly watch. Multi-dimensional player. We've seen him line up in different positions. He's a player that you're going to see a lot of U Sports coaches talking to after this game for sure.
Tyler Brecken, the senior for the Korah Colts, as Zeppa gets the handoff, driving forward, taken down by Lemire, but it's after a gain of 11 and a first down for Korah.
Now, again, the ball fakes there are excellent there. Now, Jack, be honest with me there. Who were you watching right from the start there? Who did you think had the ball?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it was the fullback. The fullback got it. I mean, I'll admit, he was the third guy I was looking at because the quarterback executed a couple of great fakes, good ball handler there. Think of back in the day, probably Boomer Esiason was the best of that. Chris Merchant, amazing at that as well.
The Heck Crichton Trophy winner for the Western Mustangs is this time Zeppa stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Getting in there to make the tackle was Burke Bain-Livick. Once again, making another play on defense for this Holy Cross Hurricane squad. And they'll bring up 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1.
Yeah, there was a couple of linemen jousting on the ground for a little while there. It looked like there might have almost been a fight about to happen, but cooler heads prevailed.
Well, similar offense that Korah is running here that we saw from the Huron Heights Warriors squad after defeating the A.B. Lucas Vikings in the Western Bowl. And that was our last game that happened at 1 as Robinson Wright fires the screen pass, and it's incomplete, intended for Zeppa, who had 3 blockers in front of him, but unable to catch that pass, so it goes for not 3rd and 11, and Korah's going to have to punt this football away.
Well, that was a play we saw earlier today that got them down inside the 10 before they scored on a touchdown. The quarterback executes a good fake in the backfield. He's rolling to the right, and he throws back to the other side of the field. He had 3 linemen out in front of him ready to take on 1 defender, but the pass was just a little too far away.
Jacob Jurek, the long snapper for the Korah Colts. Brecken, the punter, boots this one away, gets a good leg behind it. Lemire knocks it down at his own 15, but he's wrapped up right away by Jurek and then taken down by Nathan Karanen. So Holy Cross will start from around their own 15-yard line to begin this drive.
Again, the way Korah lines up in punt formation there, again, they have 3 upbacks on the right, and they have another 2 guys out wide to the right as gunners. And I'm pretty sure probably the punter is looking to the coach and making some sort of decision almost on every play. Do you want me to roll? Do you want me to roll and maybe then punt it? Do you want me to roll and then go for the first down? Because I do remember Breckton doing a lot of that last year as well.
With an athlete like Tyler Brecken at punter, you have to think that Tom Annett, the head coach, gives him the green light whenever he feels necessary, as Lemire drops back 8 yards on that shotgun snap and then runs to his right as he's taken down up at the 19-yard line. So only a gain of 3 or 4 yards from Holy Cross. And, you know, typically a quarterback will line up at 5 yards in shotgun formation, but then as all the players motioned out to the right, Lemire went back an additional 3 yards. So that snap even longer then.
Yeah, they've had some weird formations where they've started off with 4 guys, well, including quarterback, 5 guys in the backfield, and then they motion out and they still end up with about 4 guys there. It really hasn't meant a lot, any of that motion, so I'm not really sure what they're trying to do out of some of this stuff.
Lemire, play action as he rolls to his right, fires downfield, and it's caught by McAmoyle at the 31-yard line. A big hit laid there by Ethan Fawcett, but it's going to be a first down for the Holy Cross Hurricanes at the 30.
You know, and that was just a simple, the quarterback drops back, a little bit of a roll. He's hitting the receiver on the out, delivered the ball very well. Receiver picked up the first down. They're going to have to do more of that, because if we think about it, the running game, even though they've run the ball a lot, that hasn't really gotten them anywhere. Their touchdowns today were on a kick return, and we're on a short pass that the quarterback / running back / receiver took to the house. They haven't put up. They haven't maintained a long drive with this running game that they seem to be so committed to.
So they do mark him down on the 31. So a solid gain of 12 yards there from Hayden McAmoyle. Bjorgen takes the snap and then decides to keep it himself on the option with Lemire, and he's taken down immediately by Jurek in this Korah Colts defense.
Yeah, I actually thought maybe the ball was even fumbled there, but Jurek again in there on the tackle. We mentioned earlier that Jurek was selected the MVP of his league. So just to be the MVP of that team is impressive because, again, we've talked about Tyler Brecken a lot today. And to get the MVP nod for not just the whole league but his team is quite an accomplishment.
2nd and 9. Holy Cross needs a first down late in the third quarter. McAmoyle can't make the catch as the pass from Lemire over his head, so 3rd and long upcoming for Holy Cross.
Yeah, in that case, you know what? The quarterback just missed the throw. The receiver was downfield, ran a hook at the sticks, and the ball was thrown over his head.
So 3rd and long, Holy Cross brings out their punting unit as the Hurricanes as well have an athlete back punting the football. As Lemire sends a high punt that's going to go out of bounds near midfield. We'll see where the official spot is from our referees, and it's the 53-yard line of Korah. So it's first down Colts from their own 53-yard line with 29.3 seconds to go in the third quarter.
So it was about a 28-yard punt. I mean, he kicks it really high. It's not necessarily very deep, but, I would call that an effective kick, especially you're totally eliminating the chance of return. You're kicking it high, you're kicking it out of bounds, and you cannot afford to give up a big play. So, I would say give him, a B+ on that kick.
So 29.3 seconds to go in the third quarter. A 28-14 lead for the Korah Colts over the Holy Cross Hurricanes from Peterborough. Handoff up the middle to Jurek, and he drives himself forward to the 50-yard line, a gain of 7.
I haven't mentioned the offensive line very much, but they are really aggressive. We just saw 2 of their offensive linemen, number 44, Ryan Barnes, and number 96, Jordan Lambert, double team a man, and they had him 15 yards downfield before they pancaked him into the turf.
And, neither one of these schools the biggest in terms of size compared to some of the athletes we've seen this week. But effective they've been in this contest. And I was about to say before that last play went off, the Holy Cross Crusaders beat Richview in a bowl game on Tuesday, and I'm really glad the OFSAA committee decided not to have Holy Cross versus Holy Cross in a bowl game. That would have made my life a nightmare.
Well, definitely it would have made predicting the winner extremely easy.
Crossley gets the handoff. No gain on the play as Liam McGee makes the tackle at the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 3 upcoming for the Korah Colts.
Yeah, we've called Liam McGee's name a few times today. Again, for a young man that's only 5'9", 145, he's playing. He's punching well above his weight today. Certainly, probably the MVP of the defense on that side of the ball.
A few grade 10s on this Holy Cross team, and Liam McGee, a grade 11 student athlete. Like you said, 5'9", 145 pounds. As 3rd and 3 will be upcoming for the Korah Colts. They need to flip the chains around the other way. They still have it marked. They had it marked as if it was going to be a 3rd and 7. So 3rd and 3 from the 50-yard line as Jordan Robinson Wright lines up under center for the Korah Colts, who have a 14-point advantage as we're into the 4th quarter of this 2019 Northern Bowl. And it's a handoff to Zeppa, and he definitely did not get the line to gain. Only a gain of a yard for the Colts, so Holy Cross's defense comes up with a big stop, and they'll take over on their own 49-yard line.
Yeah, that was a huge play for Holy Cross. It was a simple fullback dive into the middle of the line, 3rd and 3, and the defense, both the defensive tackles were all over that. They have some size there, and the Korah has had a lot of success with their running game. I think that's the first run, maybe only first or second run, that's completely been stifled by the Holy Cross defense, and they needed that play. They needed that play very badly, taking over on their own 49-yard line with, almost the entire quarter remaining.
We saw 13 unanswered points from the Holy Cross Crusaders on Tuesday in that late game, and the Holy Cross Hurricanes are looking for something similar here. They need 14 to tie the Korah Colts with 11 and a half minutes to go in this contest. Lemire lines up in shotgun. Handoff, and a gain of a yard, maybe 2 there for the Holy Cross Hurricanes as Glasbergen gets the handoff, so minimal yardage. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, it's rare on a play that we're not calling out the name Bjorgen or Lemire because they have accounted for over 90% of the team's offense. I think now, even 2nd and 9, it might be a little early to call it 3-down territory. I would say it is, but, especially if it's 3rd and 9, if they pick up maybe 5 or 6 yards, I might consider going for it on 3rd, but not yet. We're starting off here again with 5 men in the backfield.
The motion puts Bjorgen at quarterback. Handoff, Lemire running downhill, breaks through a hole, drives himself forward, and picks up the first down at the Korah 48-yard line. A big gain there for the Holy Cross Hurricanes, and they move the sticks.
Yeah, we don't even have to contemplate what they would do on 3rd down because they picked up about 11 yards there. What they need to do is just have a nice methodical drive like the way Korah did at the end of the first half. Don't press the panic button. Take your time. Do what you do best. Don't feel like you got to get 2 touchdowns on one drive because that's not possible.
Bjorgen goes back at quarterback, looking for the swing pass. He takes it down himself, and he's wrapped up immediately.
Yeah, that's
Gabe Martinyuk.
Yeah, that time, again, they had their 5 men in the backfield, but we started to see about 4 of them motion right, and it looked like you're right that he was looking for a swing pass out there, but it wasn't there, so he just alertly pretty quickly made the decision he should tuck it and run, and at least didn't lose yards, picked up maybe about 1.
Sorry, that was Brandon Southwind on the tackle for the Korah Colts, making the play just 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9 here for Holy Cross. Lemire back at quarterback, drops back to pass, looks to his left, fires, and that pass is out and complete to Phillips. A gain of 7 yards will bring up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, that was a big catch there by Phillips. I think he's caught about 3 balls today, 2 or 3 balls today. Again, we see the Lemire showing, that he does have an arm. In the first quarter, we weren't really sure if he could make the throws, but he's shown he can when he needs to.
They'll mark it as 3rd and 1 as Bjorgen lines up under center. He gets stuffed immediately and drives himself forward. We'll see where the forward progress puts him. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's short.
If you look at those sticks, he needed about 2 full yards. And the way they lined up there was no doubt that this was going to be a quarterback sneak.
So offside on Korah. Moves the ball up 5 yards, so the play doesn't even make a difference. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, you'll often see that happen in short yardage situation. The defense is so geared up to stop the run that they forget that they got to give a yard off the ball. I was recently scouting a game in a CEGEP in Quebec, and it's interesting, even though it's Canadian football there, the defense there, they play 4 downs, and the defense does not have to give a yard.
Interesting.
It's a hybrid of the Canadian and American games in La Belle Provence.
A reverse here is Bjorgen looking deep downfield for McAmoyle, and the ball gets tipped and falls to the ground. Hayden McAmoyle had a chance after it was originally knocked down by Gaston Matilla. McAmoyle got his hands on it, but couldn't haul it in. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, great defensive play there. I mean, the Holy Cross reached into their bag of tricks. We had a reverse, and then the guy came across and he threw it deep to a receiver, and it looked like he had it there until the DB leapt up and broke it up. Excellent play by the defender.
Glasbergen got the handoff and then tossed it to Bjorgen, as this is an odd formation as well for Holy Cross. His handoff to Lemire, a physical run, ball on the turf, and it's picked up by Matilla. He goes down the sideline and breaks a tackle. Phillips wraps him up at the 50-yard line as a flag was thrown near where the original pile was. We'll see what the call is, but Gaston Matilla comes up with the big fumble recovery for the Korah Colts.
Yeah, this is going to be huge what this call is, because, I mean, it could be Holy Cross maintaining the ball inside the Korah 20, or it could be Korah with the ball just across midfield. Huge repercussions here in terms of what the decision is.
So we're awaiting the call from the officials. There's 8:03 left to go in the 4th quarter. It's a 28-14 Korah lead, but the players are going back to the original line of scrimmage. It's unnecessary roughness against Korah, which is a 1st down for Holy Cross, so that's a big momentum swing, Dave.
Yeah, I even saw one of the Korah players kind of give one of his teammates a little shove, like he somehow knew that's what it was, and it was like, rebuking him for making such a bad decision. We didn't really see what happened there in terms of the penalty, but the referee sure did.
So if my math is correct, this ball will be spotted on the 19, and that's where they'll put it. So 1st and 10 for the Holy Cross Hurricanes from the Korah 19-yard line, after what looked like it might have been an opportunity for Korah to ice this football game, as Holy Cross once again lines up, and now they're switching their formation as they're trying to confuse this Korah defense.
There's a lot of movement going on there.
Bjorgen. Handoff, Lemire stuffed in the backfield. Oh, my. Jacob Jurek coming through the hole and making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 3 yards, 2nd and 13.
Yeah, there was, I think, more motion on that. We saw linemen in motion before the play. We saw running. It was incredible. Jurek just said, you know what? No, so what? Doesn't matter. I'm coming through the line of scrimmage, and I'm nailing someone down on the ground, and you're going to put you in a 2nd and very long situation.
Make that 2nd and 14 for Holy Cross. They trail by 14 as we have less than 7:20 to play in the 4th. Lemire drops back. He looks end zone. And it's almost caught by Bjorgen, but it falls to the turf. He had the positioning on the defensive back, but couldn't bring in the football. 3rd and 14.
Yeah, it's tough. It was a deep throw. Jurgen actually hit him, and there were two defenders around. But you know what? Bjorgen probably comes down with that ball 9 times out of 10. He just couldn't hold on that occasion. And it brings up a 3rd and very long, 3rd and 14, 7 minutes left. They're certainly going to go for it. I think you should go for it. 2 touchdowns will tie the game. You get a field goal here you still need. you still need a couple touchdowns. Then we have a timeout on the field. I think, Jack, this would give us a good time to maybe go through who we feel are performers of the football fest were. Do you have a top three?
A top three performers. I'll give you my third performer, my number 3, and that would be Nathan Bullock of the Westmount Wildcats, who had 3 receiving touchdowns today. He also played the holder role and also had a couple of big runs for the Wildcats en route to their victory 44-6 in the National Capital Bowl over the Ashbury Colts.
Well, before I go with my 3, I'm going to just give a shout-out to the Chaminade defensive line. That's Jalen John, Nino Francavilla, and Nate Gonzalez. I thought they were incredibly dominant over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. But as far as individuals, my number 3 performer, I'm going to give it to Josh Connors, who is a Huron Heights linebacker. He was just knocking everybody over all day today.
They're going to have to name a special teams award after him, as Dwayne Cameron said on the broadcast when he was with Dana McKeel. He was absolutely phenomenal. It felt like he made every special teams tackle for both sides in that A.B. Lucas versus Huron Heights game.
Yeah, so who's your number 2 performer, Jack?
My number 2 performer would be the quarterback for the Nelson Lords, who will be coming to play here at McMaster, Keegan Hall.
Yeah, you know what? We're in agreement on that one. We did our list separately, and we both came up with Keegan Hall as the number 2 quarterback. He was the most highly recruited quarterback in Ontario this year. You know, him and the St. Thomas More quarterback were both incredibly, everyone was going after those 2 guys, and Keegan Hall signed very early with McMaster. Hall had an excellent game. And as far as my number 1 pick, I wonder if it's the same as yours. I'm going with Jordan Kerr, the running back for St. Marcellinus.
Jaden Kerr, the running back for St. Marcellinus. Yes, we both agree on that one. He was easily over 200 yards before the fourth quarter before St. Marcellinus shut him down yesterday against Paul Dwyer. Their 48-0 win as Lemire takes it himself, breaks a tackle. Lemire to the 10-yard line before he's taken down at the 7, and that's going to be a first down for Holy Cross after the 3rd and 14 gamble.
Well, you know who reminded me of that play is Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. This is a big kid. And he took it off, and he ran downfield, and he needed 14 yards, and he needed to beat a couple tacklers to do it. He showed strength on that play. He showed speed. That was very much a Josh Allen-type first down.
First and goal from the 7-yard line, and it seems like every chance Korah has to knock out this Holy Cross team, the Hurricanes come back with a right hook of their own.
Very impressive the way they've hung around here with Korah.
Gabe Lemire in shotgun, first and goal. Handoff, Bjorgen driving forward, but that Korah defense rallies to the ball, led by Jurek. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play will bring up second and goal from the 7.
Yeah, another player on the tackle there for the Korah Colts was number 60, Thomas Tebow. We haven't called his name out too much today. But, yeah, Jurek was in there. Jurek seems to be around the ball on every single play.
Absolutely. Jacob Jurek making almost every defensive play aside from defensive back Gaston Matilla for this Korah Colts team. Second and goal from the 7 for Holy Cross. Lemire keeps it himself, scrambles to the outside. Lemire looking for the edge as he's trying to get away from Fawcett, but he's taken down as Brecken rallies to the football. A loss of a yard on the play, and it's third and goal for Holy Cross.
Yeah, you know what? Fawcett was in hot pursuit there, and then Brecken came and finished him off. You said it exactly right. I mean, it was a great play by multiple defenders there, and it's going to bring up now third and goal from about, the 8 or 9 yard line.
Third and goal from the 8 for Holy Cross. They just had a 3rd and 14 in which Lemire got the ball down to the 7-yard line to pick up the first down, but they either need a Korah penalty or a touchdown to keep this alive here as we're under 5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. This Holy Cross drive taking a lot of time off the clock here, Dave.
Yes, absolutely. They need points.
Lemire looks, end zone! It's caught! Touchdown!
Oh, wow.
Brett Bjorgen makes the catch on the goal line and finds the end zone. Holy Cross continues to stay alive.
Actually, the coverage there by the defensive back, number 24, Austin Norrie, was pretty good. The receiver ran it out on the goal line, and even after he caught it, it wasn't entirely clear if he was going to get called as being across the goal line, but the referee immediately signaled touchdown.
Great pitch and catch for the Holy Cross Hurricanes. as Lemire finds Bjorgen, and who else to who else? The only other way it's gone for Holy Cross has been Bjorgen to Lemire, as this extra point crucial goes up and good from Hayden McAmoyle. And with 4:34 left to go in this contest, it's a one-score game.
Yeah, very exciting there. We're going to in for an exciting finish here. So, Jack, why don't we go through our top 10 list? And before we go through this, we can call it truly our top 10 list because we did it separately, but the top 5 we were in exact agreement with. So let's go through 10 through 6 here first, where we had a little bit of disagreement. I'll start at number 10. I'm going to go with the Assumption Lions as my number 10 team.
I had Holy Cross from Kingston in their 20-18 win over Richview as my number 10 team.
I have Westmount, the Hamilton Public champions and SASA runner-ups. They had a big bowl victory, and I'm giving them number 9 spot.
We agree on that one.
Number 8, I'm going with my alma mater, Notre Dame. They did not do very well in their bowl game, but they had a tremendous season. And I feel that even though overall they deserve a high slot despite the one effort at the end that wasn't their best.
I had the Assumption Lions at number 8, who you had at number 10. This is an important kickoff from Hayden McAmoyle. 2, 4, 6, 8 players up at the 55-yard line for Korah. So you think that there's a chance that Holy Cross kicks this deep, and it's a pooch kick to the 40-yard line where Brecken takes it. He spins away from one tackler before he drives himself forward to the 43. So Korah's offense comes onto the field with 4:29 left to go and a 7-point lead in this ballgame.
Yeah, it's almost like they expected that. They really only had one man deep there instead of the traditional having 2 men deep. As we continue our top 7 list, we should tell the listeners that our top 5 were exactly the same. In 6 and 7, we had the same teams, just flip-flopped them a little bit, and we'll get to those after the first down here.
1st and 10 from the 43 for the Korah Colts. Jordan Robinson-Wright back onto the field to lead this offense, trying to get Korah their 2nd consecutive OFSAA Bowl victory. Robinson-Wright looks back to the sideline to get the call from his coaching staff and head coach Tom Annett. Robinson-Wright under center. Handoff to Grassley. Gain of 2 as he gets driven back. Great job by Holy Cross rallying to the football. And it's going to be 2nd and 8 for the Colts.
Yeah, number 31, Gavin Cooper-Bailey was in early on that. That's about the 3rd or 4th time we've seen that double tight formation with the 2 tight ends to the same side of the line of scrimmage, and they've gone behind that in both cases.
So a big 2nd and 8 upcoming with 3:40 and counting to go in this 4th quarter as Jordan Robinson-Wright gets the call from Tom Annett from the sideline and lines up under center again. Handoff to Brecken. Breaks a tackle in the backfield, but can't break a second one. A loss of 2 yards on the play. And Holy Cross's defense, a big stand, and Korah is going to have to punt the football.
Yeah, they are absolutely fired up. And so now Korah has a 3rd and 10 on their own 43-yard line. If I am Holy Cross, I am waiting for the fake. I want to make sure that they kick that ball because, again, the way this Korah punt formation is lined up all the time, it seems like Brecken has the option to take it himself anytime he wants. If you're Holy Cross, you cannot let them pick up a 1st down like that.
Korah is going to keep their offense on the field and try and pick it up with their traditional offense, so a big gamble coming from Tom Annett.
I think he's just waiting for the clock to wind down and call timeout.
Yeah, you're absolutely right as they look down. And timeout is called with 2:47 left to go in the 4th quarter.
So let's continue our top 10 list there. We're on number 7, Jack.
So I had Chaminade as my number 7 team after their big 47-6 win over Notre Dame.
So I had Marcellinus at number 7. I had Chaminade at 6. You had Marcy at 6. The reason I put Chaminade ahead of Marcy or St. Marcellinus is because I thought Chaminade beat a much tougher opponent in Welland Notre Dame. But now let's get to our top 5, which we are in exact agreement with.
Our top 5, there's no difference between the two of us. We had Windsor Herman at 5, who lost to St. Thomas More in their bowl game. A.B. Lucas at 4. Nelson at 3. Huron Heights at 2, and St. Thomas More at number 1. both of us agreeing on those top 5 teams.
Yeah, and the top 3 teams there were all bowl winners. They're all excellent teams. They're all could certainly make a claim to being, certainly one of the top teams in the province, especially Moore and Herman, or Moore and Huron Heights, who went undefeated.
28-21, Korah leads the Holy Cross Hurricanes with 2:47 to go. And Korah brings on their punting unit. And like you said, the 3 upbacks lined up to the right of Tyler Brecken with 2 receivers to that side as well. You also have to be careful because that end on the far side is eligible for the Korah Colts, so that might come into effect as well. Brecken rolls to his right, and he is going to boot it away. A line-driving, spiraling punt takes a Korah bounce before Liam McGee takes it. He reverses it to Bjorgen, who fires it far side. And that is a penalty flag thrown as Gabe Lemire took that lateral pass from Bjorgen, and we'll wait and see what the call is.
Yeah, you know what? They obviously called that trick punt return in advance, and to me, if you're going to have something like that ready, it's got to be a perfect situation. The guy didn't catch the ball cleanly. He bounced around. He pitched it to the other defender, who threw a backwards pass to Lemire, and they're going to get called for I thought there was going to be called for a clip.
It's going to be an illegal forward pass called against Holy Cross. I thought the Bjorgen pass to Lemire was behind the line of scrimmage. It was a backwards pass. I didn't think that the ball moved forward.
Neither did I. But I definitely felt like there was a clip on the far sideline. So had there been a clip, the ball would have been moved back even farther. So I think they're actually getting off lucky here.
So 17-yard line is where Holy Cross will start. With 2:33 left to go in the fourth quarter, 28-21, the Korah Colts lead the Holy Cross Hurricanes in the 2019 Northern Bowl, the final OFSAA Bowl game of 2019. Lemire lines up in shotgun, drops back to pass, steps up in the pocket, fires downfield, and it's incomplete. Unable to connect with his receiver, and it brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you know what? The defensive back, Gaston Matilla, he made a break for the ball, but it was actually a dangerous break because he misjudged it terribly. He went in on the ball, and the ball sailed over his head. It was actually over his head and slightly over the receiver's head.
2nd and 10 for Holy Cross, and every time they've been down and out, it's been about a 2.5 count. They've kicked themselves back to life as the Hurricanes have Lemire step up in the pocket. Breaks a tackle. Jurek can't make the second one as Lemire drives himself forward. A gain of 9 yards will bring up 3rd and 1. What a run from the Holy Cross quarterback.
Okay, Lemire is a young Josh Allen. It's just on that play, it was a 9-yard gain. A lesser man might have gotten about 2 yards. He really showed a lot of strength there to bull his way forward and get him into certainly a manageable 3rd down position. 3rd and 1 with 2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining. 2
injured Korah Colts down on the field, one of them being Brandon Southwind, who plays that nose tackle spot at 6'2", 250. So that's a big loss in the middle of your defensive line.
And the other is Jack Nacaretto, another defensive lineman. So, you got a 3rd and 1 and 2 defensive players on the D line are going out. I think a quarterback sneak it would be a good call here.
We saw Holy Cross call a quarterback sneak earlier where they got stuffed on. They got lucky that Korah was lined up offside, so we'll wait and see. It looks like it's a full yard to maybe 1.5 yards that they need to pick up this 1st down. So not the easiest 1st down to pick up here for the Holy Cross Hurricanes as Gabe Lemire runs back to the huddle. There's 2:19 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Yep, we're in for an exciting ending here. Just before we get to the end of this game here, just want to give a special thanks to Jeff Brock. Jeff Brock of Nilsson was in charge of the event this year. Very busy man, coaching an excellent football team, and also did a great job running the event here.
Gabe Lemire lines up in shotgun, 3rd and 1. Lemire keeps it himself, cut down in the backfield. Korah made the stop. Great job, Aaron Karanen making the tackle back at the Holy Cross 25-yard line. It's a turnover on downs, and Korah takes over
What a huge play by the defender there. I mean, different coaches have different philosophies. I know personally, I go crazy when I see a situation where it's 3rd and 1 and you got your quarterback in the shotgun. I mean, sure, we've mentioned that the quarterback is a good runner. He's picked up a lot of yards, but all it takes is for one defender to get through a gap, and the quarterback didn't really have much of a chance there. If you just put him under center, he's a big dude. You just put him under center and just go straight forward. He's going to get you a yard, especially against a D-line that has 2 of their starters on the sideline.
And one of those starters being 250 pounds, really the only player on that defensive line that outweighs Lemire, who plays quarterback. So a big series upcoming here for the Korah Colts with less than 2 minutes to play. Handoff to Zeppa, has a crease as he slides up to the 16-yard line. A gain of 8 yards will bring up 2nd and 2, a solid gain on first down from the Korah Colts.
Yeah, you know what? Korah's shown good balance here with the offense. They've had different players that have carried the load at different times. They've been a little more varied in terms of who they're relying on compared to Holy Cross.
So Korah, you'd imagine, will run this clock down to about 1:29 before they snap the football. 2nd and 2 here.
And it's tough as a coach because there's a 20-second clock, but they don't have one, actually. They have to kind of go by feel.
Robinson right under center. Handoff Zeppa driving forward, picks up the first down. And Korah marked down at the 10.5-yard line of Holy Cross. Picks up a 1st and goal. It'll be a 1st and 10 from the 11, so they can pick up another first down without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how many. The Holy Cross just called timeout, I believe.
Injured Korah Colt on the field.
Oh, okay.
It looks like Zach Zeppa.
Yeah, really, Holy Cross, I'm not sure how many timeouts they have left here, but they are in a little bit of trouble with Korah on the 11-yard line and only 1:25 left, and Korah even really only needing a field goal to put this game out of reach.
So Zach Zeppa is still down on the field as it's a fresh set of downs for the Korah Colts trying to ice this football game. They had a 20-0 lead, but have since been outscored by Holy Cross 21-8 as the Colts are trying to hold on for their 2nd consecutive OFSAA Bowl win as Zach Zeppa being helped off the field, and he's played a big role in this Korah offense at that fullback spot, Dave.
Yes, he certainly has. Him along with we featured Tyler Breskin from the start, but that young man that just went off the field has played an excellent game today.
Jordan Robinson right lines up under center, 1st and 10 for the Korah Colts. They're trying to ice this ball game. Handoff to Grassley. Gets met at the 6-yard line and taken down by the Holy Cross defense. Gain of 5. 2nd and 5 upcoming for the Korah Colts. And they can take this clock down to 51 seconds before snapping the football.
Yep, you know what? There's Grassley again. That's another time where we've seen the double tight end on the same side of the line, and Grassley comes from the other side following the extra blockers out there, and he's picked up a good gain every time. I think the 5-yard run there was one of the shortest ones he's had when they've run out of that formation.
We're into the final minute of the 2019 Northern Bowl between the Korah Colts and the Holy Cross Hurricanes. As Jordan Robinson right lines up under center again. 2nd and 5. Handoff to Grassley. Cuts up field. He's met and taken down. It'll depend where they mark him to see if he gets a first down or not. Even if it's 3rd and goal, I'd imagine the Korah Colts would go for it here.
Yeah, you know what? I don't agree with that spot. I thought he was kind of stuffed around the 3, but I thought he kept his legs turning and got down to around the 1. It looks like they've marked him down at the 2, and they've already signaled that it's 3rd down. But
3rd and 1 upcoming for the Korah Colts as Holy Cross takes time out, so the clock won't start until the ball is snapped with 45 seconds to go here. Korah still has 1 timeout, but a big defensive stand upcoming for Holy Cross to try and get this football back and try and go on a drive themselves to tie up this football game.
Now, it's an interesting situation. It's literally a chip shot field goal. If you try it, the game's over. It's a 10-point lead with about 42 seconds left after the kick. But to me, I'm actually going to go for it because if you try that field goal attempt, a lot of things can go wrong. There's a bad snap. I mean, you're not on the field there, right? So there could be a bad snap. The hold could be bad. The kick could be wide. Whereas if I go for it and I fail, I'm probably the other team still got to go 108 yards. So even though the field goal would ice it, at the high school level, I would not try the field goal. I would go for it.
Mattilla has been fairly solid for the Korah Colts in terms of the kicking game, and it looks like he will come on to try this field goal to ice this football game. We saw the Assumption Lions block a field goal against the Nelson Lords on Tuesday afternoon.
That was the play of the week.
That resulted in a touchdown for Assumption to make it 21-14. Holy Cross would love something like that here. But for the Korah Colts, they're looking to ice this ball game with 45 seconds to go. Gaston Mattilla from 10 yards out to give Korah a 10-point advantage, and it's good.
Well, the snap was all I could say. It was Jack Moore like. It was perfect. Holder got the ball down, and then the kicker had the easiest gig of the three guys. Just drilled it through the uprights from 10 yards away.
So Gaston Mattilla converts from 10 yards out, 31-21. Holy Cross leads with 42 and a half seconds to go. And if you're Holy Cross, you need a score quick here because you need to score, recover the onside kick, and then go down and score again.
Yeah, you know what? Like, going for that kick and making that kick does essentially put this game out of reach. So it's going to take, I think what Holy Cross needs here is they need a kickoff return for a touchdown. They need to put it in the end zone in about 5 or 6 seconds. They don't have time for a drive and then a second score.
So Korah will be kicking off, and if you're the Korah Colts, do you consider the onside kick considering Holy Cross has already returned one for a touchdown?
I wouldn't kick it deep, but I wouldn't necessarily go do it onside too. I'd probably try and kick a dribbler that goes about 25 yards.
Mattilla, a dribbler that goes about 25 yards. Jorgen takes it with speed, gets across the 45 to the 47. That takes about 5 seconds off the clock, so...
Yeah, they kicked it exactly how I recommended. It did go a little farther than they probably wanted, and it did bounce into the returner's hands almost perfectly, and he advanced it up to the 45-yard line, but they made the tackle. And we got 38 seconds left, and they're going to have to go deep almost immediately.
63 yards away from the end zone are the Holy Cross Hurricanes with 37.9 seconds to go, facing a 31-21 deficit to the Korah Colts. As Lemire lines up in shotgun. And like you said, Dave, they're going to have to go deep almost immediately as Lemire drops back to pass, fires downfield, and no receivers down the middle of the field as that pass falls incomplete.
Well, the fullback leaked out of the backfield. He was going downfield, but that ball was overthrown by at least 10, 15 yards, and the fullback kind of looked back at the quarterback like, what? That was to me? I'm like, come on.
2nd and 10 upcoming for Holy Cross, who was down 20-0 in this football game, Dave, and we thought it might have been over at that point, but a kick return touchdown and then an offensive touchdown before scoring a touchdown on their last drive as Lemire drops back 2nd and 10, fires far side to Hayden. McEmoyle makes the catch up at the 53, which is right at the line to gain, so we'll see where they spot it, and it's going to be close.
Yeah, the tackle was made immediately by Ethan Fawcett. Very smart play by the defender. I think you might remember a play at the end of New Orleans, Minnesota Vikings playoff game a few years ago where the defender should have just let the guy catch it and then hit him. That's exactly what Fawcett did right there.
3rd and inches coming up, 27.9 seconds to go. The clock will start running when the referee blows it in, which is now. Lemire in shotgun. Handoff. No, he keeps it himself, drives forward to the 50-yard line and picks up the first down, a gain of 3 yards. But the time not in favor of Holy Cross. They need a touchdown and quick.
Yeah, there's a Korah man down on the field. But to me, even though it was 3rd and 1, I don't like that call because you don't have time. Picking up the first down isn't the issue there. You got to get downfield, and you got to get downfield quickly.
So a Korah player injured on the field being tended to by the McMaster training staff, who has done a great job all week long, and that is Jacob Jurek.
If you're Holy Cross, I mean, that's a little bit of a break that player's down. You should be on the ball right now, so when that ball is snapped or when that clock is blown in, that ball is snapped immediately at the same time.
Fresh set of downs for Holy Cross, but they only have 19.8 seconds left in this game as time's starting to go, and Holy Cross still in the huddle. They have to score a touchdown and get a field goal to tie it. Lemire lines up in shotgun. There's 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Lemire fires downfield. It's caught. And Holy Cross, Bjorgen gets away from one tackler as he gets taken down at the 32. As the clock stops at 0.3 seconds, it's going to be too little too late for Holy Cross.
Yeah, you know what? I said they needed to be lined up right on the line of scrimmage. It took 9 seconds for them to get the playoff, and there were only 19 at the start. So this is our last play of the game here. Maybe they can, get a touchdown, make it just a little bit closer.
Final play of the 2019 Northern Bowl. Lemire fires. It gets knocked out of his hands. It's called incomplete, and the Korah Colts win the 2019 Northern Bowl with a 31-21 victory over the Holy Cross Hurricanes, their second consecutive OFSAA Bowl victory.
Yeah, you know what? Just as he was about to throw the ball, number 3, Noah Grassley came in, and he really, got a hold of the quarterback's arm as he was trying to throw it. I think the quarterback was actually a little bit hurt on the play. The ball only kind of went about 15 yards downfield.
So the Korah Colts get up to a 20-0 lead and hold on after the Holy Cross Hurricanes would not roll over. A 31-21 victory for the Colts.
And I give Holy Cross a lot of credit. I thought after it was 20-0, I thought this game was going to be a very, very bad blowout. They showed a lot of character. They showed they showed a lot of toughness, and good on them for quickly turning what looked like it was going to be a rout into a very competitive game. And this game could have gone either way.
A good showing in the first ever OFSAA Bowl appearance for the Holy Cross Hurricanes as they come up just a little bit short. 31-21. Korah wins their second consecutive OFSAA Bowl game in their second OFSAA appearance, and Tom Annett has made this Sault Ste. Marie program a force coming out of the Northern Ontario Secondary School Association.
So, Jack, I've asked you some trivia questions over the last couple of days. I'm going to ask you one more. What do the following teams have in common? Westgate, Nilsson, Holy Cross of Kingston, Chaminade, Moore, Marcellinus, Westmount, Huron Heights, and Korah.
OFSAA Bowl champions.
You are right, sir.
The 2019 Northern Bowl comes to a close with the Korah Colts winning 31-21 over the Holy Cross Hurricanes, who once again had a valiant effort, but the Peterborough-sided school couldn't come all the way back after spotting Korah a 20-point lead to begin the ballgame.
Yeah, and, the teams are shaking hands right now, and then they're going to line up on their respective 50-yard lines. Some of the games, it's been very easy to pick who is going to be selected as the game MVP. Here, for Korah, they could select 3 or 4 players. I could see it being Tyler Brecken. I could see it being Grassley. I could see it being Yurkin. So this will be, one final interesting selection of the game MVP.
Yeah, and that really puts into perspective the total team effort it was for the Korah Colts, who really put it together to come away with a victory today. You could even look at Gaston Matilla, who had a phenomenal game as well for the Korah Colts. Yeah. So multiple options here.
Yeah, Zach Zeppa too.
Zach Zeppa, who left the game late with an injury for the Korah Colts, who cap off an undefeated season, their 7th victory of the year.
And when you lose, sometimes the tough thing is the bus ride home. If you're from Sault Ste. Marie, that's a long bus ride, so at least they can celebrate a victory.
So the player of the game honors goes to number 3, Noah Grassley, who on his own had a phenomenal game, and complete that with the play of Tyler Brecken. Complete that with the play of Jacob Jurek, and as well as Zach Zeppa, and this entire Korah Colts team. It led them to the 2019 Northern Bowl Championship.
Yep, and again, I'm going to give some credit again to Tom Annett. I mean, he's had a really good coaching career in the farther northern part of this province. He's been at a couple of schools, and as soon as he arrives, the football program turns around.
You can definitely track the winning of Tom Annett as he went from school to school across Northern Ontario and continues to deliver championships. This time the Korah Colts winning their second consecutive OFSAA Bowl game as the team receives the championship banner and the championship trophy at midfield here at Ron Joyce Stadium on the campus of McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. And it's lifted above the head of Aaron Karanen, and the Korah Colts can celebrate as they are 2019 Northern Bowl champions with a 31-21 victory over Holy Cross. Thank you for joining us all week long on Yair TV, our great crew putting this together for you. For Dave Morrissey, I'm Jack Moore, and all our other commentators that filtered through the stadium throughout the week. We say thank you for tuning in, and we hope you join us next year for the 2020 OFSAA Bowl Championships. I'm Jack Moore saying good night from Ron Joyce Stadium.